What's up, everybody? I was almost late to my own stream. I was trying to get my coffee done. Hopefully, everybody can hear me on 5x5 and all that fun stuff like that. And before we get started, of course, we're going to say acknowledge some of you awesome people that are kind of been hanging out for a few. And I appreciate that. I see we got several folks in chat. And let's go ahead and say what's up. Who do we have here this evening? Let me back it up a little bit, folks. All right, we got Nate in the house, Willow of Moonhaven, Ethel Miller, Mama Bear J15, McBean Scottish Fitness, Jean A, Bonnie Swenson, Savage Prepper. Had a great name. I had, it's funny you say that, Savage. I had someone, God, it was my on my mother's side, my great aunt that was also named Ethel as well. Classic name back then. You don't hear that too much this often, this day and age. Anyways, Tennessee Prepping Lady, Voodoo Queen is in the house, and Voodoo. I don't know if I tell you this enough, but you do an amazing job on the Discord with the herbal recipes and all the herbal stuff that you do. Phenomenal work, man. I appreciate it so much, Voodoo. There's a lot of folks learning so much from you. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're doing an awesome job. All right, we got Steve Spillman in the house as well. Kim's Cluckers is in the house. Carol Dodson, Oki Khan, Vince Carroll, Van City Prepper. Good to see you. Looking forward to your live. Also, let me see here. I'm trying to skip through some names. I don't want to be repetitive, but sometimes I get that way. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing well. Good to hear from your brother. Snake Bites in the house. Dragons in the house. Yarn Prepper, Harvey Black. Let me see. Who else do we have? Angie Camp. Moving through this here. Colleen Rich. It's really great to see all this, the names that are the consistent in the live streams. You guys are awesome, man. You guys really help support this channel out by being here. Seabass is in the house as well. Good to see you. Frontier Preppers, Billy D, or both. Little Lone Prepper, good evening. Pantry Mama, Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. I'm going to start referring to you as Mrs. Potato Head because it makes it easier for me to remember. Lima Charlie, KB, Dobby. I said Dobby's in the house. Let's Talk Prepping. Tina Mitchell, Lisa Hoffer, Quickney, Daryl Calhoun, 2A Confirmed Actual Factual. Oh, man, love it. Mark Witcher, Florida Rican Homesteader. Who else do we got in there? Vince Carroll. All right, I'm going to try to bring this down a little bit so we can get started here in a second. D14 is in the house. Raptor Ranch. CNC Farms. Who else do we got here tonight? Barbara, good to see you, Barbara. Always good to see you. Jim Minshall. Jim Minshall. I try my best at these last names. But good to see all you folks. Yeah, I make a bad habit of seeing someone's name, and sometimes you folks, if I say something wrong, you guys got to correct me. If I call you a brother and you're a sister, you need to let me know. If you're a sister and you're a brother, you got to let me know. What's up, Evelyn? First time making it to a live. Well, everybody, welcome, Evelyn. I truly appreciate making it to a live. Sometimes the lives are fun. Sometimes I get carried away and go down these long tangents. But good to see you and welcome. Pantry Mama, good to see you as well. Liz Chavez, Yarn Prepper. There's Bell Prepper. Good to see you, Bell. Tried the new Glock. Hate the thing, but it shot really good. That's awesome, Billy. Oh, man. Hey, it's trial and error sometimes, man, when it comes to that stuff. Believe me or the lying eyes. Right on, Savage. All right. Good to see all you folks. Mittens in the house as well. All right, folks. I think, did I say what's up to you, Daryl? I think I did. I think I caught everybody. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. Very beneficial to the channel. Kate Bremer, good to see you. Popping in there right towards the end there. And I think I'm down to the end. Hey, folks, someone was watching, I think, was it the premiere on Sunday, and they were very upset with me that they could hear me drinking. I'm sorry. I have to drink my coffee when I do these shows. If not, my mouth goes really dry and Grey gets really tongue twisted. Let me see. What's up, Angela? Good to see you as well. Boy, my 38 is loud. Roger that. Oh, man. Some great people tonight. So, folks, here we are. Here we are. Political theater, political theatrics, diversion. That's how I feel about this whole situation. What's up, Dreams Acres? Love the herb and plant videos. Awesome, Dreams Acres. Those videos I really enjoy doing. You know, like the one I did yesterday with the rosemary, and the other videos that I've done in regards to medicinal plants, and how to grow them and how to use them, and all that stuff like that. I really enjoy doing those videos. They don't garner the attention they should. One day they will. It's the long game with those types of videos. People will come eventually and be looking at like, well, what medicinally can I use rosemary for? How do I trim my rosemary? How do I water my rosemary? Things like that. And they'll come across that video eventually. Seabass says, for oh God's sake, enjoy your coffee. Thank you, Seabass. This is why I love you folks. You guys are like the core great community. Kathy M, what's up? Running late. Hey, better late than never, Kathy. But here we are. Here we are, folks. You know, I saw this last night, and I feel like I got something in my, I don't know. Anyways, so I saw this last night. It's, you know, and I prepared for it. I was watching it. I have some certain channels. I get information through various resources of mine, be it Telegram or emails or just, you know, folks that I have out there that like to send great information, which I truly appreciate. And I try to stay on top of things. And Wolfsbane Hollow, thank you so much. Yarn Prepper, thank you for that as well. And it's, you know, this is the question that I'm getting confused with. Homestead Homeboy NC, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, GreyMan. Hope all is well, sir. Pray. Yeah, we have to pray, folks. The power of prayer is very strong, and we all know that. A lot of you conservative Christians out there, and you know, I'm not saying everyone is. There's all different types of walks of life and folks that watch the channel. So I don't want to subjugate you into a specific group of folks, but there's a lot of you folks out there, and I appreciate all of you, no matter where you fall and what religion you have. You know, this channel's for everyone. But back to where I was going with this. Let me see here. Wanted to. I just get all kinds of interesting comments sometimes. It's the 1% of comments. They don't really bother me as much as they used to. But anyways, so back to what at hand. You know, I saw this thing and this whole thing about Politico, and then things being leaked out with the whole Roe versus Wade thing, and I was like, well, that's kind of ironic. And then I saw, you know, the protests planned. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, midnight in Washington D.C. protest planned. That was quick. And I thought to myself, and I waited till midnight, and there's a couple streamers that, you know, restream all these live events that happen and all these, you know, protests and riots throughout the last several years that I follow. So I turned them on and I went to check them out. As I'm watching this little protest there in front of the Supreme Court, I noticed one thing, and I looked over to my wife and I'm like, where did they get those signs at? How did they get those signs so perfectly done already? Is there a guy down the street that hands people these pre-made signs already? How did they get this so organized so quickly? So that gives me my conspiratorial mind tingling. And I'm like, was this planned? Is this set up? Was this pushed and geared and done by the Democratic Party? And people are like, wow, you know, it can't be the Democrats. It's probably somebody else pulling the strings. But no, here's from my perspective. And like I said, these are my opinions. I thought I heard something. These are my opinions. So, you know, and we're all entitled to our opinions. Like I said, you know, we can agree to disagree on lots of different topics, which just makes us Americans, and it just makes it a great community. But that being said, yeah, and Savage, you're absolutely right. You know, this whole thing with the justices, this was back done in February. This conversation was had, and then all of a sudden it was leaked, and it's not supposed to come to light till about June, July, and I just thought it was ironic that how quickly things escalated over there in front of the courthouse last night, and how well prepared they were with their microphones and their flyers and their like well prepared gear, you know, their helmets and their masks and all that other fun stuff. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it just seemed to happen so fast and too organized. And so I thought to myself, why would this be transpiring now? Well, what's around the corner, folks? We have the midterms right around the corner. The current political powers that be that run the White House and that administration, when you look at it, they failed on the economy. They failed on the health crisis. They failed at the southern border. They're failing everywhere. Matter of fact, I just watched Corn Pop. He did a speech today, and he said, that he gave the Russians the javelin missiles and not the Ukrainians. And I was like, where's this guy's mind at? You know what I mean? And I like to joke around about it. And don't get me wrong, I understand the position of the presidency, you know what I mean? And the stress that comes with it. But there's just too many gaffes. There's always bound to be mistakes and hiccups. But when it's like at every turn or every speech, and then I watched this whole, the guy that works for CNN, make this whole, comedy sketch thing that some party that the big wigs had, and making fun of all these people. And then you see Corn Pop sitting there laughing in the corner when he's talking about inflation and how bad things are. So for me, I feel that this is a ploy to try to win a base of people to push for the midterms for the Democratic Party. And also it's also a distraction from what's really transpiring in our country. The real things that we need to be concerned about, like inflation, like the food shortages, like the supply chain, like what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine, what's going on in China and the rest of the world, all these other things that they're trying to distract us with. Don't pay attention to this. We're going to make a really huge situation here evolve so that the news cycles will continuously run with the Supreme Court and the Roe versus Wade thing and blah, 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 blah. I just think it was just too predictable and to be expected. Now, all these people are coming out saying things of the nature like, oh, we're going to get down to the bottom of this. The FBI is investigating. There's a very short list. Who's going to be the scapegoat? That's my question. Who's going to be the scapegoat for this, right? Who's going to fall? Who got paid off the most? John Derman, thank you so much. What's up, Rena? And like I said, some folks out there, you guys don't have to agree. Just because you're on the channel doesn't mean you have to agree with everything I say. This is, again, like I said, my opinion and the way I view things. And some people say, well, what do you mean by political theater? Do you mean like when people have a play and they do these funny things? No, I have a little thing down here, and let me read you technically what political theater is, and tell me if this doesn't make sense to you. It says political theater, a political stunt, a type of publicity stunt intended to sway the public opinion on a political view. Doesn't that say it all? That's political theater, folks, and they do it all the time. A lot of you folks are talking about a documentary that just got dropped by Dinesh D'Souza called 2000 Mules. How ironically that this happened basically the day before that this documentary was supposed to drop. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. I don't see why. We still have the freedom of speech, correct? So I should be able to talk about a movie. I'm not, a documentary that's coming out. And it's just ironic in how things play out. What's up, Southern Belle? What's up, Bonnie? No, you're fine. Better late than never. We just started. We're only about 14 minutes in. Northern Girl, good to see you as well. Did I say what's up to you, Alan? Yes, it does, Gray. Confirm. Thank you. I appreciate that, D14. And D14, like I said, you guys have been seeing it in Canada for quite some time. You, Northern Girl, North Shore. There's a lot of folks out there in Canada that have been dealing with tyranny through Trudeau for quite some time. And, also to distract. Okay, so we've seen the news cycle run with the Ministry of Truth. This whole thing that we discussed on Sunday and that we discussed on Sunday Shift Report. And, I don't like to consume my entire channel with this type of material, but I find it that it needs to be said and to be discussed. Yeah, right, D14, exactly. Kabuki Theater, Daryl Cahoon. So I forget, I lost my train of thought, of course. Coffee always helps me get it together. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? It's that whole thing came out, the Ministry of Truth. That's what I'm calling it. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's how I'm looking at that whole situation. I know that there's a different ploy and reason why they say that they're putting this together. And they tried to blame it on the previous president, number 45, which I thought was ironic. Maybe he did. Some people say that, he's this or that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't care, but it's happening now under this administration. What's up, Smiling Wolf? Good to see you. So that's what it concerns me. And then again, this whole Roe versus Wade, because this is really going to irk folks. It's gonna the pro-life folks are going to be out there, and the other the different organizations, they're going to be battling it out. So the news cycle is going to be watching this. They're going to be pushing it. The Congress is going to be focused on trying to find the leak and all this other stuff like that. So that's going to consume the news cycle for who knows how long. Some people have even predicted, now this may sound a bit conspiratorial, of course, but some people have predicted that this whole battle, the whole Roe versus Wade thing, is against our Constitution. And this was done back in the 70s, from my understanding. And when you look at the Constitution, honestly, it kind of was. Some people may not agree with what I'm saying, but that's the way I'm looking at it. Like I said, I don't have these documents behind me for no reason. You need to understand your Bill of Rights. You need to understand the Constitution. You need to understand what our forefathers fought for in this country, to be honest with you. And to me, again, I say it all the time, they would all be rolling around in their graves at this point. It's just sickening to see what's happening. And, I have a clip. When in our history did you think Congress would be attacking the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court is supposed to be the ultimate court system of the Constitution. They're supposed to back the Constitution, right? And they're being attacked. And what I mean by being attacked is being attacked by members of Congress, specifically good old Chucky, right? And I have it here. I know I got it here somewhere. Let me find it in my thing. And how do they not see something like this as a threat? To me, Roger that, MJ. I had to see what you were talking about at first because YouTube sometimes will block certain language on here because we try to keep it, a family-friendly show as best as we can. This is what I want to click, right? That's not what I wanted to do. Let me. I want to tell you, Judge. Of course. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You guys are probably like, what is he doing? All right, so let me share this video. And a lot of you, and some of you folks have probably seen this video before, but in my eyes, is when does a member of Congress gets to threaten? At least from my perspective, I consider it a threat. You know what I mean? The way he perceived how he called out the Supreme Court justices. And I'm just trying to find out where I stuck at it. Oh, there it is. All right. And I'm going to pause it for a second because it's going to be too loud.
I want to tell you.
Because his voice is just.
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. Yeah. I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Doesn't that sound like a threat to you folks? Doesn't that sound like he's threatening members of the Supreme Court? A member of Congress threatening the Supreme Court. Kathy M., thank you so much. Maryland, I hope you got your tinfoil. What's up, Annie? Good to see you as well. But, I saw that and I was just like, that reminded me of what happened. And Peaceful Acres Farm, you said it exactly. 3 equal branches of the government. That's how it's supposed to be. That's our checks and balances to make sure that one doesn't have more power than the other. If not, we would just be like Russia. We would just be like China and other countries like that. And don't get me wrong, that's what it seems like they're pushing for, right? Matter of fact, when I was watching the protest last night before it started getting heated, per se, I noticed that there was a big old sign that they were holding that said Democratic Socialist of America or something like that. Didn't even know what it meant. So I had to do some research and I was like, wow, it's truly an organization. And did they even understand what socialists are? Did they comprehend that? Or do they understand it? And that's their end goal, right? I don't know. It drives me nuts. Yeah, Allison, I agree. Schumer, up Chuck. Howdy, GreyMan and family. What's up, Chief? Good to see you. Thanks for the information you've been sending us, Chief. I appreciate that, brother. Texas Mama, good to see you as well. And Dragon, you're absolutely right. Dragon says Supreme Court is supposed to be apolitical, no political basis, but yet the Dems only want activist judges to be put on the bench, which we just seen recently. When they were trying to vet the new justice, I forget her name because it doesn't really matter to me. If we look at her history in regards to how she's voted, her political views, and all that stuff like that, we know that that's the goal. Maybe this is another ploy for them to pack the court down the road. Again, the midterms are coming up on us, and they're going to come up fast, folks. So I think this is a ploy. I hope it doesn't work. I don't think it's going to work. I think people are getting a lot smarter this day and age by all this political theater and distractions. Because if we don't move forward in the midterms, 2024 is not going to look good. In the coming years after that, they will push all their agendas that they've been pushing so far this year. And as you can see where it's gotten us. I'm late, but hello. What's up, Odessa? Good to see you. Better late than never. So again, I implore you folks to not get distracted by a lot of this BS that's going around, because the news is going to run in cycles all the way up to the midterms. There's going to be something else. If this is not the thing to solidify them, they'll come up with something else and something else and something else to try to keep the public distracted, to try to win votes. I guarantee you, over the next 6 months, matter of fact, I had it saved here. Let me read this to you. Where did I save it at? Let me go into my phone. I screenshotted, this for you, because it's already started. It's already started. Here it is. Yeah. The vice president office announces just now, this is 17 hours ago, that Harris will speak at the annual We Are Emily National Conference hosted by Emily's List, the political action committee designed to elect women in favor of abortion rights. So Kamala Harris has already jumped on top of this whole situation. Guarantee you other Democratic folks are going to be jumping on this bandwagon. They only have two options. Really, folks, because they can't run on the fact that the country's doing well. Inflation is rampant, and it's continuing and getting worse. Even some of the big wigs like J.P. Morgan and Bloomberg and a lot of these other financial institutions are coming out and saying, yeah, we see a recession coming right around the corner. 2023 is not going to be a good year. The housing market is starting to get stifled, and interest rates are skyrocketing for folks who want to buy a home. Now's not the time at this point. You've missed that bus per se. And so they're either going to run on the aspect of the whole Roe versus Wade thing. They're going to run on that, or they're going to run against anybody that is a number 45 supporter. Billions, I want to say, and I'll be more frugal. Millions and millions of dollars are being poured into these candidates that are running against Republican individuals outside of, you see, you got to follow the money, right? As they always say. And if you look, and sorry to make this whole live stream about political stuff, but, it just happened to come up and I want to discuss it. But even so the Democratic Party is getting millions and millions of dollars poured. Like there's a guy running in Philadelphia. He's a Democrat running against a Republican, and there's a lot of money coming in from out of state to support this gentleman, out of state. So it's not even internal money from the state itself trying to raise money, grassroots type of thing. It's coming from all different places. Also, there's a lot of money getting pushed into the Rhino Republicans. So you have to be vigilant and watch that as well. Before you go out into your local thing and you do some of your local voting, you might want to do some research on the people that you are trying to get into power, per se, right? It always starts in your city level, your city, and then your county, and then your state, and then, of course, the feds. And that's how it plays out. Because eventually these people start on the low-end branch. They start low, and then they work themselves into Congress. And then, of course, we see the crap show that we see now. RCX Scottish decision used to cause division. Agreed, RCX. And RCX, great point in the aspect of, look what they tried. They tried to use the race card for so long, right? They used the race card all last year with the whole George Floyd thing and all the other crap that they were doing, with the whole defund the police. They went that whole route. And evidently it's not working for them. Then they tried to go in a different route. And it every seems they're getting roadblocked at these things. So they're going to start pulling every card they can to try to garner some sort of momentum coming into the midterms. So we're going to see a lot of different things transpire moving forward. That was a planned leak. Carol Dotson, I agree 100%. Definitely planned. I think it was planned by the folks that are in power right now. They had to come up with something to distract folks from what's really going on in our country. The real things that we really need to be concerned about at this time. And it sucks because the majority of the population, that's what they're going to focus on, is what's transpiring over there in front of the Supreme Court. And it's truly a shame. It's truly a shame. Cooking with Bobby Joe, good to see you. good to see you as well, his sweetie. A lot of awesome folks in here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. So anyways, a little off topic. I get a lot of you folks have been asking all the stuff that's been behind me lately. And I have to apologize. And the reason that you're seeing so much stuff behind me and kind of an ever-changing situation is this corner of my office is a staging area. So I have all the stuff that I'm staging, that I'm buying, that's coming in from orders that I got placed or things that I've been, my prepper hauls and all that stuff like that. So I stack it there so that I can write it into inventory and then put it to where it needs to go. The last couple of days, they've had a lot of good sales on ball jars and ball lids and stuff like that. So whenever I see great sales on stuff, I just run and start buying it up because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. Huntier 2574, good to see you. Right, JT? Yeah. Someone actually thought that that's what I was doing. I was like, no, if I wanted to show you my really good preps, I would take you to the dungeon, as I like to call it. My wife calls it the dungeon. It's kind of funny. I am going to be setting up something in the new house that we're building. It should be, like I said, it should be done by July. It's an investment property, so it's only going to be a temporary place until we can get the equity out of that house to build to actually buy the land that we're looking for. We tried to buy land in so many different aspects and got kicked in the face over and over and over again. So we need a substantial amount of money to do what we want to do. And I talked to some good friends, and that's why we bought this home. It's not where I really want to live, but I'm going to do the best I can. Now, with that being said, I do have plans to show you that living in specific environments that you can still prep, you can still have a garden, you can still do a lot of things. Sure, we'll be owning the house, but the equity is what I'm really looking forward to. I'll give you for an example. The house is not even finished being built. They have the walls, the roof, and the windows, and the inside is still gutted, right? And our equity is already up $17,000. So we've already signed the contract, paid for the house, and right now the house is worth $17,000 more than we paid for it. So we've already got equity, and we haven't even finished building the house. So my goal and what I'm hoping to is that by the time this all plays out within the next basically 12 to 24 months, if the world doesn't lose its mind at that point, we can only hope, right? That I will be able to pull hopefully over $100,000 of equity out of that and invest it into a homestead. That's the only way I can see it making it work for myself with my financial situation. Yes, Savage, they are extremely high building materials. So hopefully that makes sense to some of you folks out there, what I'm trying to do. But like I said, with the new kitchen, I had to make the kitchen a certain way because I want to do canning, dehydrating, and cooking videos because you guys seem to like that outside of some of the other content that I do. The garden is going to be shifted. So the backyard, instead of doing, I'm still going to have my grow bags, but we're going to do raised beds. So you're going to see me develop this piece of property into like an urban homestead, pretty much. You know what I mean? I can't have chickens, so that sucks. But you're going to see me do some other things. My hand's going to be forced to make certain decisions, but I'm going to be working on a entire pantry filled room. And that's what I want to show you. I'm going to be building this pantry from ground up. And I'm going to show you in that process how I start that pantry from nothing to something with using the preps that I have and then adding to the preps throughout that year or so. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It should be pretty fun and maybe spark some ideas with the new folks. If you have an extra room or an extra space, or you're doing an add-on in your home, about just taking a room that you're not using and building it into a pantry, a nice size pantry, because this day and age, you buy a home, the pantry is the size of a little small closet. It's not like it used to be. They don't expect you to have a substantial amount of food stored away in your home anymore. You know, they feel that what is it called? The easiness to go to a store and buy food. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go out shopping every 2 to 3 days. Well, not for me. You know what I mean? I'm always worried about the unexpected, and that's what I expect to happen, is the unexpected. And I hope that nothing ever happens, but at least I'm stocked and ready, because that old saying goes is our goal is to be prepared rather than get caught off guard, rather to have something than not have something when needed, specifically food, water, medical supplies, and stuff like that. We are just trying to, what did I say? Oki Khan says, we're just trying to fix up an old hen house and it's costing big time. Oki Khan, you know, here, I don't know if this will help you or maybe some other folks that are watching this evening. A lot of folks around me love to throw away pallets. So I've just started looking at what can you do with wooden pallets. I've seen people build raised beds with pallets. I've seen people build chicken coops with pallets. I've seen people do all kinds of intriguing things with pallets. Usually, if you can find them for free. You just got to search for them. Now, I know some folks are maybe in the really rural areas and they don't have access to a city nearby that they can kind of, throw some pallets in the back of the truck. But you can take these pallets apart. And like I said, it's free. It's free. Most people want you to take them. So I'm one of those people that like to collect pallets and store them in my facility. And what I mean by facility is my storage unit, which I keep all kinds of extra stuff in so it doesn't overload my home. Rots quickly. Gene A says Savage rots quickly. I didn't even see what you guys are talking about. Is it true that average politician will feed a family of 4 for 2 weeks? Sure. Anybody who expects the government to feed them, I'm sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there'll be food lines. I'm sure that there'll be food lines. The government says, "Here's your piece of bread and your porridge or your soup or whatever that they want to give you, due to whatever economic crisis that happens to evolve here soon." But they're going to want something back. Nothing is free. Just because the government has an option for you doesn't mean it's free. I guarantee you, folks, if it goes that far, which unfortunately I have this gut feeling that it may, you'll see these people in lines that they're going to have to give up certain freedoms to get that food. And some folks will, because they're not prepped. They're not ready for what's to come. They are so complacent that they just think, it'll be okay. And I just don't think that way. And I think most of you folks that watch me and other preparedness channels or homesteader channels or gardening channels, and the list goes on, know this. And that's why we are such a tight-knit community when it comes to sharing information with each other, because we want each other to succeed. Not only for me to succeed, I want you folks to succeed. And that's what that whole saying is that you, the viewers, you guys out there, you guys aren't alone. Look at this community right here in chat right now. We have how many people we have in chat? We have over 144 in chat. Maybe one day we'll have 1,000 in chat one of these times. The channel's growing and we'll get there in due time. It's in God's hands, and whatever happens with the channel, that's what'll happen. But you folks out there, it's nice to know that you can turn to, let's say, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? I'm sorry to pull your name, but Julie, Sharon, Dragon, Savage, Carol Dodson, Van City, Harvey Black. Some of you folks can communicate with each other and share ideas, share tips and tricks that work for you. That's what I love about the Discord, is because people can get a little bit more personal down in the Discord to help each other. That's what this is all about, is to inform, help, educate, and get prepared for anything. I mean, look at Kansas, look at Oklahoma last night. These been some powerful storms in these areas, and people have been devastated by these storms. Imagine you had the ability to help those folks, or imagine some of those folks were preppers, right? And they had things tied down in a certain way that if a tornado ripped down their house, they had a backup plan. Maybe they had an offsite place where they kept their preps. Maybe they had some silver or money or something like that put away for that situation, just in case it arises. If I was living in Kansas, that would be my goal. My main goal is focusing on tornadoes. Being that I live in Florida, I focus on hurricanes. Hurricanes, it's not if, it's just when. And it could be a small hurricane. You're still going to lose power, but most of the time, you have to expect that Cat 4, that Cat 5 hurricane to come ashore and wreak absolute havoc. Now, with hurricanes, they come with tornadoes, floods, power outages. Things are down for days and days and days. Like I said, the one that I went through, we got hit within a 4-week period. I think we got hit by 3 hurricanes and 1 tropical storm. It was devastating. Most places, even in the city, was out without power for almost a month. My father, further out, was out of power for several months. So they were relying on generators, candles, and the National Guard came in and handed out MREs because people didn't have access to food, because all the food stores were closed. There was looting, there was violence. There was a lot of bad things that happened during that situation. Because law enforcement has their hands tied too. You have to understand, whenever a crisis evolves, be it something as simple as a storm, sometimes law enforcement, medical aid and stuff like that, they're overwhelmed and they can't get to everybody. So that you have to depend on yourself. So self-sufficiency or self-dependency is more of the direction that you want to go. And I know we went a little bit off topic from what we were talking about but that corresponds to what this whole general discussion is about, is don't be misled. Don't be distracted by this political theater and all these things that you're going to see over the next few months that's leading up to the midterms. Gene A, I truly appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much for the support. And again, it's just, that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on what we as individuals can do to prepare for what's to come. And then, of course, we'll get the naysayers. Well, what about if nothing comes? That's the common thing that I get. What if nothing happens? Well, I guess my daughter or my sons are prepared. If it's my time to leave this world and all my preps, and I didn't need my preps, thank God, which would be a great thing. But that my preps would go to my children, so they are prepared. You're just not only preparing for yourself, you're preparing for your family, your loved ones, your kids. You have to look at the long game. You can't just look at the short term situation. You know what I mean? You have to look way out, and that should make you feel better about what you're doing and the things that you're stacking. So let's say I'm going to use silver for an example, because Rudy was talking about silver on his live stream. I happened to click on there for a few minutes and lurk on Rudy's live stream, and he was talking about silver. And let's say I have, 50 pounds of silver, right? Well, that wealth that I've preserved will go to my children and maybe help them out. So to me, that's beneficial to look at it that way. Quickney, I appreciate the super chat and thank you for the support. Thanks for your information. And just so you guys know, starting May 1st, so since Sunday, for the next, let me see, May, June, July, August, September, October. For the next 6 months, all the super chats, all the super stickers, all the ad revenue, and memberships and all that stuff, any type of money that I derive from YouTube, we are going to do, like I said, I'm taking a page from Rudy, the Alaska Prepper, and we're going to go out and buy a ton of food to give it to these food banks because they're hurting. I had a conversation with 2 different food banks here locally so far to let them know what my goal is for October, because I think this Thanksgiving is going to be rough on a lot of folks, be it with inflation and the cost of food. So I want to help with that, with my ability here in the Grey community. Just think about what we did last year for the kids during Christmas. That was awesome. You guys made so many children's lives that much more better last year for Christmas. And thank you, Grey community, for that. So this time we're going to focus on food, because I think food is going to be the thing that's going to be most important and relevant outside of toys this year. So that's my goal, just so you guys can have a heads up of what's going on. And of course, you know me, I'm going to donate my own money to it as well. I haven't decided. I'm going to look at my finances. I'm trying to get the wife to clear $1,000 of my own money to throw at this whole situation as well, because I really want to go big on the food thing. Apocalyptic Ben 331, thank you so much for the super chat. Peter Piper picked up peppers to plant peppers. You almost got me with the tongue twister. I'm getting better at it. And Gene A, thank you for that. No, it's just, I'm being honest, folks. I'm being honest. I don't derive a lot of revenue from YouTube. I know outside of the norm, people make that assumption. I pour a lot more back into this channel, into this community than people would assume. But my goal is just to help and be a positive role model for other folks that may come across this channel and spark ideas within them. Spark ideas in with you folks out there. Maybe you locally, you see a situation arrive. Maybe you're going to a local food bank, right now because of inflation and the cost of food. Because we're all being put in situations that we're normally not put in because of the state of the economy. Or some of you folks may be more aware of a situation that some folks down the street, maybe your neighbors, are going through some struggling thing. And how nice would it be to, hey, here's, some canned goods and some rice and some beans and stuff like that to help you get through this next month. Think about how that makes you feel in your heart. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. It's just giving back. You know what I mean? Here's how I look at it. If anything bad ever happens to me, I feel if I do enough positive things in my life, that it'll come back to me. You know what I mean? It'll come back to me in a good manner. And regardless if it does or doesn't, I don't care, because I'm going to keep on doing it. That's just the way I look at life. You know what I mean? I try to have a positive outlook on anything and everything, because what's the sense in always being depressed, scared, worried, and stuff like that, which a lot of folks are. But that's why I'm here with you guys. And this is why I enjoy doing what I do on these live streams, even though sometimes we go through, we're talking about the worst of the worst and the political situations and current events and the economy and bad stuff like that. But we're still having a conversation. And that makes me feel like we're all a part of something here, folks. Let me see. What did Mad Mama say? Let me back this up. What's up, Karen Gilder? How do you see you? Good to see you. Putting good vibes out gets you good vibes back. Agreed, Mad Mama. That's how I feel too. And I think that's why the folks that are the core Grey subscribers, you know, the people that watch every video that I put out, you know, are giving back to me in that aspect. So like, let's use this for an example. Some folks don't want to watch me do a review of, let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to grab something here. Maybe someone doesn't want to see me do a review of some sort of life straw or some other water filtration device, or someone doesn't care about my gardening, or someone doesn't care about this or that. Evelyn Lamel, thank you so much for that super sticker. I've never seen that one. I like that. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Where was I? They don't want to watch that. But if you truly want to help the channel, you don't have to watch it. You can just let it run, hit that thumbs up button and let it run and walk away and let it run for 10 minutes. If you have the capability to do so, I'm not telling you that you have to do that, but I'm just saying it helps out, you know, with the channel itself. You hear a lot of people also say, you know, watch a couple of the ads and stuff like that for the ad revenue. But it all boils down to when it comes to a platform of this nature, or with any social media platform, it comes to viewer interaction, the thumbs up, the comments, the views, and all that stuff like that. That's when these platforms say, okay, well, something's happening with this channel, I'm going to push it up. And that's how we spread the message. So don't get agitated with your content creator or whoever that you're watching, your influencer or whatever you want to call them. Don't get mad with them when they ask you for a thumbs up or a comment or a subscribe. They're just trying to get their message out. Now, don't get me wrong. I've watched channels out there that I'm shocked at how many super chats they get and how much stuff like that. And they never say anything about giving back to the community. I'm not talking about the preparedness community. I'm talking about like other channels that my daughter watches and stuff like that. And I'm amazed. They're money making machines. Nowhere near the finances that gets poured into like channels like this. These people are making a killing. And don't get me wrong. It's what do they call it? Capitalism. You know, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's their job. But I don't consider this a job. I consider this a hobby. And I enjoy doing it, because if you ever look at it as a job, then you're not probably going to want to wake up every day and do YouTube. What's up, party prepper? Good to see you. I'll have to step out early. Company just arrived. See you all on the funny pages. Roger that. Roger that. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Family first. You know, a lot of you folks say that to me. You're like, hey, Grey, sorry I missed the live. Hey, Grey, catching up on your videos and stuff like that. Take your time, folks. Take your time. Family first. If you're gardening, when my live stream starts, finish your gardening. You can always watch the replay. I know it sucks sometimes because you guys want to interact with each other and get to communicate and have a good time. But sometimes if you don't have the time to do so, family's more important, gardening's more important, canning's more important. If you're doing a prepper payday, all that stuff is more important because you can always watch the replay down the road. These videos will always be here, I hope, right? Texas T, thank you so much for the super chat. Howdy, Grey and Grey family. Good to see you, Texas. Yarn Prepper says, let's get Billy to 4,000 subs. Billy and D Frontier Preppers. Yeah, go subscribe. If you guys, you know what, Billy, I think I said this in the last stream, Billy. Don't we have each other's phone numbers? You got to give me a call. We need to do a live stream together. See if we can get you to 4,000 subs. I love you guys' content, and you guys are just real people. That's what I love about you, Bill and D, is that you guys are just there. You're talking. You're having a good time. You're answering questions. You're interactive. I love that about your channel. And you're down to earth and you say it how it is. This is what I truly enjoy. This is what gravitates me to certain channels, like Rudy over at the Alaska Prepper and Billy D, and several other folks, you know, that I like to push and promote because they're just being honest. They're just good people. And I love to share out channels like that. Van City Prepper, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. I'm listening as I drive to go pay bills. Roger that, Minuteman69. It's unfortunately something that we have to do. Plum Jam. Who's talking about Plum Jam? I want some. What's up, Redneck Prepper? Good to see you as well. I see you. What's up? Good to see you as well. Just sub to Billy and D. Awesome. Thank you, Rena, for that. You'll love their content. See, and Billy's from Cuba. Billy grew up in Cuba. Billy also came from Florida and went to Alaska. But so you can see his life and how it's progressed. But he is like an inside source to communism and what it's like living in a communist country. And it's intriguing to hear folks like that have discussions with those folks. You know what I mean? So good people. Robin, a late hello from northern Minnesota. Well, thank you, Robin, for joining us. I appreciate that. Prepper Book Club, good to see you as well. Do you guys have any questions for me? Sometimes I forget to ever ask you guys questions. If you guys have a question that you want to ask, put it in all caps. You can put the word question and then all caps. I don't know if you guys ever have questions during these live streams, because sometimes I won't catch it. And I don't want you to think that you have to do a super chat for me to read something. And not. What's up, Rocka? Good to see you as well. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. JRC Homestead did our monthly prepper haul today. Some Walmart, Equate, and Great Value products totally out of stock. Wow, JRC. And you're going to see a lot more of that. No matter what the other people tell you, there is a big issue. Talk to your farmers. They're the good people to talk to. If you know people that manage grocery stores, talk to them. If you know suppliers, talk to them. They will truly tell you what's going on behind the scenes. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to unreliable sources. I mean, heck, you don't even have to listen to me. If you have someone that's an inside source, go speak to them. Have a conversation with them. They're more than willing to talk to you about stuff like that, because they're concerned as well. If you ever see something funky going on, you probably know that's probably someone who's in the now or in the know, and they're getting ready for what's to come. Dakota Hayes did not get a notification for this. Found it by scrolling. Roger that, Dakota Hayes. My apologies. You know how the tube can be sometimes. The Biggs Prep, a subscriber sent me photos of the milk at Walmart, Ocala, Florida tonight. Almost no milk. Wow. And milk has jumped up in price too. Dairy, a lot of dairy, the eggs and stuff like that, they're skyrocketing. I think they're up 15 to 20% at this point. Pony Girl, good to see you. So sorry I'm late. Went for Chinese food. Hey, you got to do you, Pony Girl. Hey, you got to do you. You got to eat. I have to ask something, Greg. Go ahead, Rocka. I'm right here. Go ahead and ask. A Cult Prepper says, I'm really impressed with the water filter that you did give I give away of recently. A Cult Prepper, did you try it? Did you enjoy it? I'm very impressed with it too. I really thoroughly enjoy it. Matter of fact, we were so impressed with it, and I was so impressed with it that we put this in our brick and mortar store here locally. We carry these in our store now. I'm still, we got a lot of new things coming into the store. And maybe I'm going to do some subscriber, what is it called? The member only videos of me in the store, kind of going over and showing you guys what's transpiring in the store. And then maybe I'll release it to the general public down the road. Let me see here. Don't listen to Mary Poppins, the disinformation. Yeah, right. Good point, Minuteman 69. Same here. No notification. Angels arrive. Well, good to see you, Angels. I appreciate you being here. Let me see here. Bell Prepper says, GreyMan Prepper, Alaska Prepper, City Prepper, Sutton Days, many more, but I love you all. You helped me keep my sanity through all these these past years. That's awesome, Bell Prepper. Great to hear stuff like that. Yarn Prepper says she has a phone call. All right, Don Lyons. I was trying to see where you're pointing at. Good to see you, Don. When are you making mead? D14. Okay, this might disappoint some of you folks out there. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol. Every once in a while, on specific holidays and stuff like that, I'll have a small drink or two. And the reason behind that is because I grew up with a lot of let's say alcoholics in my family, and see them destroy their lives. So that's why I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't mind, a little whiskey here and there and stuff like that, but I only drink a small glass of stuff like that. But I could make it because the wife wouldn't mind trying it. Yes, I tried it out on a recent camping trip. Awesome, Occult Prepper. Good to hear. I love it when you guys win something or you buy something that I did a review on and it works well for you. What's up, Frank? Good to see you as well. RG71 says, I've been canning up a storm, finished baked beans today, getting ready to plant my garden. Can't wait until it's warm enough to get that all in. Roger that, RG71. My garden is blooming very, very well, and I'm doing a lot of work out there. Let me see here. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Sitting along the coast, charging my Jackery with the solar panels. That's awesome, Allison. Here's a tall boy. If he drinks too much, it's a long, long, long fall to kiss the ground. Roger that. Roger that, Van City. Why did the workers call in? I'm missing something here. Doing some rebel canning of butter and bacon. That's awesome, Sharon. And you guys are probably wondering, you say, yeah, Grey, we've never seen you can. And you have all this stuff, Grey. Well, you will. Like I said, it's coming. It's coming down the pipe. As soon as I move, I'm going to get it all set up, and we're going to have some fun canning. You guys are probably more more educated on canning than I am, I'm pretty sure I'll find some folks that won't mind watching, because sometimes I make mistakes and sometimes I like to have fun with it. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys will enjoy that aspect of the channel as well. Mr. B and I are in recovery, so no alcohol here either. Roger that. I love those toothpicks I bought from you when you just started your shows. Great stuff. The sea bass, they come in handy. I still have some. I use the food saver and I sealed them all up just as a backup. You know, for the nicotine aspect of things. I figured it makes a great tradable commodity. GRC Homestead says Walmart pharmacy wouldn't let me check out my bottle of wine with my RX. I told them I don't know why drugs and alcohol go so well together. Right on, JRC. Taz, I need a basic canning course. Well, Taz, the way I'm going to promote my canning stuff when I start doing my canning is beginner canning 101. Anybody who's new to canning will get to learn with me and see some of the mistakes I make and hopefully not make them. You know what I mean? I know sometimes you're bound to make mistakes, but you learn from those mistakes, and that's what's very important. I'm making beef vegetable tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be canning it. Awesome, Terry. Gene A says, I'm scared of pressure cookers. I survived a balloon crash, so pressure cooker would probably blow. Gene A, I'll be honest with you as well. I was scared at first too, but after talking to Rudy, I consider Rudy a really close friend of mine, almost like a brother. We've talked about that, and several other folks that I've had discussions with, and it's nothing to be scared of. It's not like the old school days. Things can happen, don't get me wrong, but it's relatively a lot easier than you would assume. I've played around with a little bit with it. I like the like button needs to be pressed. Thank you, Van City. Yeah, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please do so. I'm teaching a water bath canning at church this Saturday to our ladies group. That's awesome, Texas Mama. I wish we could have more things like that. You know what I mean? I've looked around for Facebook groups and prepper groups and stuff like that, but they're hard to find. And I understand, because a lot of people in emergency preparedness don't like to talk to other people on what they're doing. They don't want to be ridiculed, or they don't want people to know where they located or where they keep their preps at. They're more, closet preppers per se, right? What's up, Dina? Good to see you as well. Rudy is a pro canner. Roger that. Texas Tea, I never heard of that one. But there are dummy books for everything, What is this? Oh, I have my cup backwards. Angels Arrive says I blew up 2 canners and I'm still here. That's awesome. That's good to know, Angels. I appreciate that. Technology has gone a long way. You know what I mean? I do have all the books. I have all the little gadgets and little things. I got a bunch of stuff, canning stuff over there as well. And I plan to have fun with it. You know what I mean? I was afraid you would be angry, Gray Man. Sorry, I'm being serious, trying to think of how to make a little money without Uncle Sammy knowing. No. Folks, I rarely get angry. I rarely get upset. You know what I mean? Because all it does is take years off your life. And I used to be someone who got mad at everything. What my main problem is? I get mad at inanimate objects like hammers and saws and stuff like that. That's like my thing. My wife tells me, she's like, why do you always get upset with certain things? And it's like, because it's the hammer's fault, not mine. Anne Marie B says, I was petrified as well. I stood to the side of it for a few weeks. Then the lids actually have a safety. The little button will pop out, and I'm a pro now. Awesome, Annie. Anne, sorry. Anne Marie, that is awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Follow the USDA pressure canning guide, and you'll be fine. They then expand from there. Good advice, Seabass. Bell Prepper 1970 says, grow what you eat and eat what you grow. Can what you eat what you can? Yeah, some of these tongue twisters, folks. One of my phone or something's making noises over here. Anyways, I got sidetracked. What time is it? 54 minutes. I wanted to go over a couple of things real fast. I've been just kind of rambling off of the mouth, and thank you all for listening to me ramble. You won't like me when I'm angry. Gray Man, no one sees me when I'm angry, right? Yeah, and you can call it hulking out, D14. You can call it hulking out. You have to be totally negligent to blow up a canner. Roger that, Voodoo Queen. Stop eating so much. Period. Yeah, I guess you could say that. If you want to lose weight, Mike Stout says, if you don't blow up Florida, you didn't do it right. Try again. I had a couple articles. I don't know if you guys want me to go over these articles real quick before we wrap up the live stream. We only get about 5-6 minutes left. So give me a yes if you want me to go over these couple little bit of articles that I wanted to bring up. P.S. The rice bags work great for growing bags. Oh, yes, Annie Marie. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of things. Even the old potato sacks are great for growing stuff too. I plan on doing, I plan on doing something this year with growing potatoes. Usually I just grow sweet potatoes, but I saw a really intriguing video that sparked my interest, and I want to do something with white potatoes. Okay, so we got a lot of yeses in chat. So let me go ahead and do that then. I don't want to run out of time. Let me share my screen. Just a couple of things that I wanted you guys to be aware of. That, right now you're probably some of you folks may not be aware of, just to the fact that, you're being bombarded with the Supreme Court situation. Anyways, so this first article here, it says the U.S. government extends national emergency following spat of cyber attacks. This was done 19 days ago. State of U.S. national emergency extended for another year. So we are under a state of emergency for another year. This was 19 days ago. Executive Order 13694, which declares a state of national emergency in the United States due to elevated risk of cyber attacks, has been extended for another year. U.S. President, said that the threat from persons and organizations outside the country is still very much present. Significant malicious cyber-enabled activities originating from or directed by persons located in whole or substantial part outside of the United States continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to national security, foreign policy, and the economy of the United States, that he said in a statement. So I wanted to tell you folks that we are still under high emergency alert for cyber attacks. So again, that's something else that might pop up this year. Also, China and Iran and Kazakhstan, they're slowly building their own version of NATO. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Kazakhstan, what's the other place? There's several countries, even India and the Middle East are even talking little bits and pieces about this stuff, which is quite intriguing. But anyways, it says China and Iran agreed to step up military cooperation in a range of areas, including exercises, and a sign that the two nations are moving somewhat closer to a lingering tensions with the U.S., Beijing, and Tehran will work together on military training and exchange of knowledge. The semi-official FAR news agency reported, citing Mohammad Bagheri, the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces. Chinese Defense Minister Wei Fenghi, told Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, and I'm butchering these names, folks, in a meeting Wednesday that the People's Liberation Army was willing to making good use of cooperation mechanisms, push forward pragmatic cooperation, and bring military ties to a higher level, the PLA Daily reported Thursday. So NATO is consuming, a lot of people can, everybody knows what NATO is. Well, these other countries feel that NATO is impeding on their sovereignty, on their way of life or whatever, be it if you agree with the Chinese or Russians or whatever that kind of stuff is, to each his own. They're trying to develop their own organization. And they have a name for it. I can't think of it at the top of my thing, but I'm trying to watch the time here. But the last thing I want to show you is this was crazy when I saw this. It says Russian TV warns Britain will be drowned in radioactive tsunami. Remember you guys saw the whole missile strike map that the Russians put out on RT News? They showed that they could bomb Britain with a nuclear warhead, I think within like 23 seconds, under a minute, pretty much, with little to no warning for the Brits. To me, that's a scary fact. If they were willing to do that, they are threatening it a lot more. So anyways, it says Britain will be plunged into the sea if Russia were to launch a nuclear attack, Kremlin propaganda has warned. And what would have been unthinkable just 3 months ago, Vladimir Putin has repeatedly threatened the West with nuclear war. Most recently, Russian state TV broadcast a bizarre video threatening to attack Britain with a hypersonic missile known as the Satan II and an underwater robot drone known as Poseidon. Dmitry Kislov, dubbed Putin's propagandist-in-chief, said, "What will happen after Boris Johnson's words about retaliatory strikes on Russia?" So what they're meaning behind this, and I did some research into this in regards to the tsunami, this radioactive tsunami. Basically, it's a nuclear warhead that explodes on the right where Britain's coast is, and all that nuclear waste or radioactive water would engulf Britain and create a nasty situation from a nuclear submarine or whatever, however they launch it. But I'm assuming it's going to be a sub. And like I said, this I'm not saying this is what's transpiring, but this is other stuff that's in the news that you're probably not going to be seeing because, again, you're going to be inundated with the whole SCOTUS situation. Putting going under the knife this week for cancer. I heard that too, Peaceful Acres. Who knows? Maybe he won't wake up. Maybe that's the ploy. Maybe that's the game plan. I don't know. I'm just speculating, so don't quote me on that. But all in all, I think you need a tsunami ball. Right on, Tara. Rebel Prepper says, hello, GreyMan. Greetings from the deep south. This was a calculated leak from an aide in the Supreme Court. They are trying to get public opinion to change the ruling that will be coming. Exactly, Rebel. That's another thing. They're trying to apply political pressure on the Supreme Court. Well, that's not how the Supreme Court works. You can't leverage political pressure on the Supreme Court. It's based on constitutional law. So again, back to the whole beginning of this topic, it's wrong what they're doing. They're trying to use like I said, Schumer threatening to me, people on the Supreme Court. It's just crazy what's transpiring in America. And again, that's what the Supreme Court's there to enforce constitutional law. Seabass, I agree 100%. I would not wish that on anybody as well. Not even my worst enemy. Texas Mama, that could be a good possibility. You said, I think they're trying to start unrest and cause riots. Now, didn't they accuse T-Man of doing that? JT, exactly. 100% JT. I don't want to say that, but I'm glad you did, because for some reason, this thing here will get upset sometimes. That they did 100%. They are so corrupt. Exactly. Smiling Wolf. What's up, Mary Ruth? Where was I going to go with this? I forgot what I was going to add to this part that I was talking about here about the constitutional law, but that's all it is political pressure on the Supreme Court, which is BS. Like I said, Dragon said earlier, they're apolitical. They're supposed to follow the law of the Constitution and enforce those laws. So when things get brought to the Supreme Court, it has to do with the Constitution, and if it's constitutional legally, man, I'm getting all tongue-tied now, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? No holding back this time. Right on. Starting riots is a bad idea. Freaky Geek, I agree 100%. A lot of people have equated the whole Roe versus Wade thing and expect a civil war to erupt out of it. I'm not sold on that yet. I listen, I watch, I learn, I read, I digest, and then try to understand why people believe that. And maybe it could be a possibility. At this point, the way things have gone so far in the world, I just wouldn't put anything past anything at this point. Every day we wake up to a new surprise. Guess what? Now we have a leak of a Supreme Court, thing. And this is also going to deter the Supreme Court, because basically these folks, they have conversations on rulings and things that they plan on doing. And it's only a very small group of people that have access to this information. And now that's going to affect those folks. Just imagine you were a Supreme Court justice, and all of a sudden your most trusted advisor or someone in your organization leaked information that's not supposed to be leaked to the public until a decision is finally made. It's not like they made 100% decision. You know what I mean? But now they're going to try to push the agenda. Countries are going to get tired of being threatened with nuclear. Carol Dodson, yes, it could come down to that. There's so many things that we need to keep an eye on. Sometimes I feel like if what am I going to wake up till tomorrow? What is the world going to be like tomorrow? It's unprecedented, all the things that have happened over the last several years. And I think we're going to still see a lot of things transpiring over the next few years as well. We'll see what happens in the 2022 midterms. We'll see what happens in 2024. Very curious to see how some of this stuff plays out. And if America, are we going to see more shortages? Are we going to see the supply chain absolutely collapse on itself? I'm really looking to see what happens with the farmers this year come fall for the harvest season. There's a lot of things that I'm paying close attention to, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, which is stacking it to the rafters. Every possible piece of equipment that I can use that I think that I may need, mechanical, mixers, I'm even looking at things of, what's the word? God, I can't think of the name. I'll think about it and talk about it in another live stream or something like that. We're real close to, I ran out of time. But look, folks, thank you. Thank you all for all your support. We're going to do big things this year, ourselves on the channel. Like I said, I can't wait to help some people out there that are going to be starving this year, and help those people out with the help of my community here. So I want to thank you all for, hanging out with me for this hour. Truly appreciate you guys being here. And as always, I like to, kind of wrap this up now is like, please, please, please be safe out there. And remember, you are not alone. Anyways, folks, God bless. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on a rebound. And then I'll see you on the live stream on Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do have a video that I'm going to release tomorrow as well. So you'll get to see a little bit of Grey tomorrow as well. Other than that, like I said, God bless. Stay safe. Have a good night, folks.